Yay, we're live. But we're not recording.
We're not recording, then it's not even
Oh, wait a minute.
worth it. What are we doing?
No, I just realized something. We need to have your computer set up.
Oh, really?
Remember? Because
Oh.
we recorded it on Audacity.
I'll go get my computer.
Ah!
Oh, wait, it's right here.
Ah! But we need the microphone.
You need the mic?
Yeah.
Oh, what are we doing?
I don't know. It's been too long.
So unprepared.
There's someone watching.
Shut it
There's
down.
someone watching.
Shut it down.
We're not prepared. And it's too dark. It's too dark. We have to fix this. This is
This
awful.
is the best part.
This is awful.
Live theater.
This is terrible. Don't pay attention. Don't pay attention. Oh my God. What are we doing? Oh no. God, what's happening? Turn that on. Everybody go to your stations. We have to fix this. Rocket, where are you? Where did Rocket go? Rocket, come here. Where did you go? Oh, no.
I've got the mic.
That's too bad. This one, like the only person who's gonna hear any of this is the person who's watching
It's the
right
person
now.
who's watching.
Oh God, this is a nightmare.
Live theater.
It's live.
It's live, folks.
It's live, folks. Hello, everybody.
Hello, world.
Hello, world. Oh, actually, no, because this is all going to be live later on.
Oh,
we'll
okay.
be able to rewatch this later on.
Oh, good. Can't wait to watch the first part. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And I
And
don't hate these levels. These are good. And
we're
rolling.
rolling.
We're actually live rolling.
we're live rolling. It's really real
Here we
rolling.
are, guys.
Here we are.
In 2020, in the time of COVID-19,
Ugh.
practicing a little physical distancing, but not social distancing. I feel like that's a very important designation.
It is.
Let's keep being social, but let's stay physically apart unless you're married to the person.
And then you probably should be near them because you live together.
Right, and if you have it, then they have it. Whatever you have, you share.
I actually know someone who had it,
Who had or has?
who had COVID.
Oh, and they're over it?
They're just now starting to get over it.
Oh, okay.
My friend Megan Miles and her boyfriend actually both got COVID.
Oh, man.
And
that sucks.
yeah, and they. Oh, I waved. I'm still figuring out Instagram.
We have Instagram here. We have YouTube here.
And then we have
We're
our
recording
microphone here.
I've got all my notes for this movie.
So before
Wow.
we get started, though,
Wow, folks.
before we get
Those
started,
are all my notes. Oh,
who
I
would
didn't
have thought? Who would have thought that this would bring up so much? Ben,
Is this a trigger for you?
This might be a. I don't know. No, Cats is going to be a trigger for
Oh,
me.
man.
Whenever we eventually get to watching Cats,
We actually can't watch Cats until April
7th.
7th.
7th is when it comes out.
Okay.
So
But that is a for sure episode. Absolutely happening.
yes, that needs to happen.
That's definitely.
So, Ben, how are you doing?
I'm well. I'm a little tired today.
Why are you tired, Ben?
Because I did laundry
You did do laundry.
and I drained a hot tub.
Yes, you did.
So yeah, a lot of physical labor today.
Things look a little bit different than where we normally would record from.
This is true. I guess we didn't announce that yet.
No, we are currently staying at my wonderful aunt's house in New
We
Hampshire.
are up north.
And we have our friend's house sitting while we're gone.
Yes.
And we're very, very lucky and fortunate to be
Yes, we
staying in
are.
this amazing home
Yeah.
while she is abroad.
She is
She is abroad in Colorado. So we're watching her place and our friends are watching our place. And one of the things that is nice about this place is there's a hot tub.
Yeah.
But-
And it really needed a little bit of TLC
Hot
because
tubs
we got in there the other night. We're like, oh,
require maintenance.
that's not a
That's
not a
not
regular
a-
smell.
No, that's
That's
like,
not-
oh,
That's not a smell.
That's
hot tub should have.
there's a nice little film on the
We're-
bubbles.
We're stewing in here.
This is
So-
this feels like a crock pot.
We marinated ourselves in the hot tub for about 15 minutes.
And then-
it started raining very hard. And we're like, okay, I'm over this. And then I got out and then Megan followed.
Yes.
And
a good play-by-play of what happened when we got in the hot tub and decided we didn't want to be in the hot tub.
Because it was a little rancid.
It was rancid and it was raining and it was, but it's all better now because Ben.
Yeah,
cleaned it
I
out.
took a shop vac and emptied it, 20 gallons at a time. So
Jesus.
that was fun.
See?
I'm gonna foam roll my back tonight for sure.
These are hi, Rochelle.
Oh, hi, Rochelle.
Hi, Rochelle.
Oh,
Hi. That's Craig. Heyo.
Hi. guys, Rocket's
Heyo.
here too.
Yeah,
I'm
Rocket's
nestled in.
here. If you can see his sweet little face,
Yes.
he's nestled in.
So I'm good. I'm
you're
gonna
good.
foam roll my back before bed just to
Good.
hopefully offset any damage I did. But
Great.
how are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a rough couple of days because last time that we filmed our episode, we were back in our apartment and
Yeah.
we've since come up here. And I remember so vividly, like we're driving through this gorgeous countryside, like trees whizzing past us and cute little quaint stores. And I'm just sobbing in the seat as we're going to this wonderful home. And I just am losing it because I'm like, oh no, we can't spend 4 weeks together in our studio apartment. Like
Yeah.
it was
We're
this
very lucky to be
weird
able to have
thing
this.
that happened where it's like I felt really happy and grateful for being able to, be out of New York in general. We haven't left New York much at all. But then also at the same time, just everything that's been going on, it felt very scary.
Yeah, I feel like if you're a New Yorker and you live there, your day-to-day life is very much a hustle.
Yeah.
Unless you have a lot of money. But
Right.
for those of us who 60% and above of New Yorkers are living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
So we have to actively go out there and get it
And because
hustle.
everybody else is doing the same thing,
Right.
everybody is like, could you get out of my way?
Right.
I need to could move please. And here it's like the gal that was at Walmart that was checking me out. She's like, beep, beep. Don't forget that bag. Beep. Like
It really slows
everybody
down,
goes
yeah.
so much slower, and it's something that just takes time to get used to
And
as well.
I think having that hustle almost taken away from you,
Yeah.
like pride away from you, due to a circumstance that nobody saw coming and that nobody can control.
No.
It's a global disaster essentially. So I know for me that I was feeling a lot of sort of like injustice to the whole thing.
Yeah,
like, this
but-
isn't fair.
Right, but it's like logistically, that there's there's nothing fair
Yeah,
about
and
it.
there's no one you can blame.
No, and
It's
there's nothing you can
it's
blame.
something that happened, but thankfully, we are all sharing it together.
And
There was that
there's-
video that was like downtown Boston, where everybody
Yeah.
was like out in the streets singing
There
from their windows.
There was one in Spain
Yeah.
where the police officers are going down the streets to make sure everybody's staying inside. But as they're doing it, they're hopping out of their cars and playing guitar and singing.
That's so
It was
great.
so great. Like, there's also a lot of really wonderful and incredible things happening, even though this is a really hard time.
And I feel like you don't see a whole lot of that because the headlines are like, "Oh, increased
Right.
cases, and Italy is on lockdown,
Yeah.
and 8:00 tonight, New York is going to be on pretty much the same thing."
Like, do yourself
So-
a favor, just like read the main bullet points for what's going on
Stand for it.
and then turn it off.
Yeah.
And then follow good news on Instagram so that you can see that there are other things happening in the world that are good things.
I also wanted to mention the foundation that we were going to be raising money for
Yes.
tonight.
Yes.
It is the SAG-AFTRA COVID-19 Disaster Fund.
Oh, I thought we were doing Broadway Cares.
Are we doing Broadway Cares?
Yeah.
Never mind. We're doing Broadway Cares tonight.
That one's next.
Oh, okay. So
The
this is
reason
for our
we
next
did
one.
Mamma Mia is because it was for
Duh.
Broadway
That makes
Cares.
perfect sense. Well,
So,
we can't do this for Cats because Cats is like in two different camps. Right? Oh man.
there's other movies that have SAG actors. There's other
This is
movies
true.
that have SAG actors.
So we're doing Broadway Cares.
We're doing Broadway Cares, and Broadway Cares typically does Equity Fights AIDS. They do lots of different resources for actors that come on financial or life hardships, and they've recently created one specifically for COVID relief for actors who have been taken out of the workforce because of many different canceled gigs and things like that. So if you would like to donate, any little bit is great.
Mhm.
You would Venmo Ben.
Yeah, my account is farmer646.
And take a screenshot
yeah,
now.
I'll take a screenshot
He
now.
takes a screenshot now.
And we'll send out and post a confirmation of the donation at the end of the podcast.
Right. Anything that's
So-
donated during this time that we are here today, anything that's donated to Ben's Venmo, which is Farmer646.
Yep, at farmer646.
Anything that's donated here will be we'll donate it to Broadway
Yes.
Cares for COVID.
As you can see, that's me with a 0 balance. So that's my hashtag and my new headshot.
Wait, is there anything important and sensitive
No.
that you just showed people?
No, I can just search people.
Okay.
and my
I wasn't
settings
sure
and
if
all that
you
jazz.
just showed
No. I don't see why I should give you my social security number, but I'm
But
going
just-
to anyway. Here it
Hey,
is.
Jacob.
It's 317. No. Hey, Jacob.
It's Jacob.
Hey,
Hi.
hope you- and on that note, I hope you guys are all doing well and good.
Yes.
And if this has affected you, either friends or family, we hold them in our thoughts and our prayers and our well wishes. But again, I take heart in that there's a lot of really good things happening around the world. People coming together.
Yeah.
People in the streets, in Boston, in Spain, in major cities, coming out and just randomly singing. A lot like the movie we watched last night.
Speaking of randomly singing in the middle of the street, we
We
watched Mamma Mia!
The movie.
Mamma Mia, here I go again. Mama, how could I resist you? Well,
Well, how could we resist
how
this
could
movie?
we resist this movie?
I didn't see this in the theater.
Here's the thing. I did not know anything about this movie before seeing it, other than I knew there was ABBA in the music.
Yes, it's
That's
a musical with ABBA's.
all I
music.
knew. That's
Yes.
all I knew.
So if you like ABBA, chances are you'll like this
probably
movie.
like this movie.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Where do you start?
There are so
For
many
those
thoughts.
of you who are unfamiliar with the film of Mamma Mia, it came out in the year 2008.
Yeah, breakdown per IMDb. Hit it, man.
It was directed by Felita Lloyd, written by Katherine Johnson. She did both the musical book, apparently, and the screenplay. And I know Felita Lloyd directed the original Broadway production of Mamma Mia. So she directed both the original production and this film. Starring Meryl Streep as Donna, Irish national treasure Pierce Brosnan, Amanda Seyfried, Stellan Skarsgård, Colin Firth, an amazing supporting cast led by Julie Walters and Christine Baranski. Top-notch cast, in my opinion. You get a lot of people who've done a lot of theater and a lot of film.
Yeah.
Synopsis breakdown per IMDb. The story of a bride-to-be trying to find her real father, told using hit songs by the popular 1970s group ABBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's spot on.
It's the music of ABBA with a little bit of plot.
That's it.
That's it.
I mean, okay, here's the
Yes.
thing. So I can be very picky when it comes to jukebox musicals, which I think that Mamma Mia is considered a jukebox musical.
I think so too.
Because it's all of one kind of band, and there's usually some kind of plot or something to string everything along.
Correct.
And so I can get really picky about them if the plot doesn't hold up.
Correct.
And
Does this plot hold up?
I got so confused at the end. And I've never seen a group of women more manic and euphoric and obsessed with men.
I don't think it fails the Bechdel test, though.
I think it absolutely
I don't
fails
think
the
it
Bechdel
does.
test.
I don't think it does.
It absolutely
I'm going to
fails
make an
the
argument
Bechdel
for
test.
that. But
For anybody that doesn't know what the Bechdel test is, the Bechdel test is if you take a screenplay, or I guess play, and you go through the entire thing, if you find a scene where two women, or it's like multiple scenes where two women are only talking about another guy, it fails the Bechdel test.
correct. So
This fails 7 ways
I
from
don't
Sunday.
think it does. But I'll make an argument for that real quick. So I took a lot of notes, and I feel like we could just kind of jump into the plot if
Yes.
you're open to it.
Okay.
A lot of questions about casting.
Disclaimer at the start.
Mhm.
I do want to say I really want to see a live production of this,
I do too.
because I feel like this actually makes a better musical on stage than it does on film.
There are theaters in the Northeast region who do Mamma Mia every single season. There is one in particular, and I forget the name, but they know that it
It's
is a
always
cash
going to
cow,
be in there.
so that they can do Jekyll and Hyde. They can do whatever other creative low bar musical they want to do.
Hashtag Bat Boy.
But they know, yeah, that would be, or You're in Town or something like that. But they know that Mamma Mia is going to sell tickets.
Right.
So they just do it every year, and people keep coming back.
Right.
It's a fun musical, at least what I saw in the film. I imagine it looks like they're having a lot of fun. And I imagine the stage version is probably, hopefully, a little bit more fleshed out.
Okay.
So
I'm going to end the Instagram live feed because I need my notes. So, guys, if you see this, follow us on YouTube instead. Link is in the bio. Yes, I'm sure I want to end the live video. Okay.
Share your story.
Share to story. I'm like Ethel Beavers. Okay, so we start out with Amanda Siegfried. Who is it? Amanda, what's her? Sophie?
Amanda Seyfried, who plays Sophie, who is Meryl Streep's daughter, who is getting married in like 2 days.
Right. She's getting married in 2 days. Or no. This is earlier.
Oh.
Because she's sending the letters out.
Right.
She's sending the letter out to 3 different potential daddies. So that's not
My 3 dads.
My 3 dads. Bill
Henderson.
What is it?
Malloy.
I'm just going to start naming apostles.
Just start.
I'm just going to start naming the apostles.
Yes. So the names of the dads are Bill, Harry, and
Sam.
Sam is Pierce Brosnan. Harry is Colin Firth, and Bill is Stellan Skarsgård.
So she's sending an invitation out to all of them, basically saying, "Hey, you should come to this wedding." But she doesn't disclose.
That's all she says.
That they might be her dad.
Correct.
She just says, "Hey, so and so," or she writes as her mom.
Right.
She's inviting them,
really
"Hey, I would love to see you come to my daughter's wedding."
And so these three.
If I got that, I would be really weirded out.
Yeah,
like if one of my ex-boyfriends was like, "Hey, come to my daughter's wedding," I'd be like, "Why?" Like it's so weird.
Yeah, 20 years after the fact. Like if these guys had half a brain, they would like put 2 and 2 together.
I don't. Yeah. But musical needs to happen.
Yeah, show needs to happen.
So yes. So they go. And then it's the dads at work montage.
Right.
With Pierce Brosnan being busy and important.
He gets in a fake New York cab.
Says
JFK as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. And then they all
I need to get I'm British.
My thoughts precisely. And so
I love Colin Firth, and he plays the bumbling British guy.
Also, too, out of all 3 dads, like Skarsgård, I'm like, you've got handsome potato. Like it was like one of these things is not like the other thing. It was really random casting.
It was.
I was like, I didn't quite get it.
I have a little bit of trivia about some of the casting.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think that'll be beneficial or flesh anything out. I just be like, oh, he's in this movie.
Okay.
There it is. That's it.
And
so we open up with her sending the letters.
Right.
So she sends them.
Yes.
And then she has 2 of her friends
from New Zealand
who show up from New Zealand.
Yeah.
No, one's Irish, I think.
I don't know. The accents were all over the place.
They're
in Greece, but it's like
not
one's
the
Greek.
Musical Greece.
No one's
but actual
Greek.
Greece.
It was bizarre.
Greeks are the word. Yes.
Greeks are the word?
Greeks are the word.
Why has Oikos not made that their yogurt slogan?
We do love Oikos.
Why has that not
They have
happened?
not sponsored this podcast.
Not yet.
So,
then
she starts, as the friends show up, she has her mom's diary, I guess, from when her mom was 20.
Right.
And her mom has written about like, ooh, I had sex with Sam, Bill, and Harry.
No. She didn't say I had sex.
Oh, and
dot.
I think that's the name of the song?
No, it's not. No, it's Honey Honey.
Oh, it's Honey Honey.
Or something.
Okay. And she's describing what's in the diary, and you'd think that these women had never had any type of intercourse before.
Also, too, we're talking about your mom having sex.
And they're all really into it.
They're really into it.
Like, ooh, like, it's almost like it's a song that would almost fit in Bye Bye Birdie a little bit more than Mamma Mia.
And two, what would work for me, if it was me writing the musical, I guess, is I would make it so that she tells them, like, hey, these are possibly my dad's, and then they steal the diary and then start making fun of it. And she's like, oh my God, stop, that's my mom. Like, that would be funny.
Yeah, like one of them would have taken the diary.
I'm so excited that my mom had ... Like,
Like they're really into it.
Yeah, that's not.
And so they have this whole song about it. There's a ton of ADR in this
I
movie
just
because it's
noticed that.
shot on location in Greece. There must have been 2 weeks of
Right.
post-production ADR on this movie. It's really distracting.
And it's like, but then there's like 1 or 2 shots where you can tell there's no ADR.
Yeah.
So it's like, just be consistent. Have ADR throughout the whole thing so that you think it was dubbed because it's actually in a different language.
I just have wow ADR, and then hashtag summer nights, hashtag stole mom's diary, hashtag Greece is the word. And I also wrote, I think they're actually singing, but with recorded over, but still props to them. I think all of the cast, every cast member did their own
Pierce Brosnan
singing.
definitely did his own
Definitely
singing.
did his
And
own
instead of skrelting, which that's like scream belting, he shouts belts. So he shouts.
Yes.
He shout belts everything.
It's really interesting.
It's really disturbing.
And I am a staunch defender
He's
of Pierce
amazing.
Brosnan. He's one of Ireland's
like
greatest
even
treasures.
a third of the way through, I asked Ben, I was like, okay, which one are you gunning for? Which one do you hope is Sophie's dad?
I'm always supporting Pierce Brosnan.
Gunning
in
for
life,
Pierce Brosnan.
in movies, in
now,
any case.
if something happens though, where something awful comes up in the future, and like it turns out that he like kills baby elephants on the side, then I retract all of this because we don't want to date ourselves. I don't know. I don't know. Because you think about like all these people say stuff, and then like later on something horrible happens to celebrities.
Another note: these women have never had sex? ?
Right. ...
Again, the ADR on location.
Yep.
And then Christine Baranski and Mrs. Weasley show up.
Right.
Who are Meryl Streep's friends
from when they were a singing group,
Correct.
Dynamos.
When they were the Dynamos of Glasgow or something like that. They were like some weird Russian nightclub.
I don't know. But
so
they're there and they're like, oh my gosh, we're so excited for you. And then they sing about, Meryl Streep sings about how
money.
She wants
it's
money.
It's a rich man's world.
It's a rich man's world, and she doesn't have money to keep up this shit place in Greece.
For that song, I wrote fun ensemble, and her fantasy is to marry rich and not work?
Which I did have to say, I would have fucking loved to be in that number because you were just on a yacht for like 2 days.
Yeah, there's all these little vignettes.
That would have been
like, living the high life. And,
so great.
Yeah, the ensemble had a lot of fun in that one.
Oh, yeah.
We've also come to learn that Meryl Streep hasn't had sex in 15 years.
I don't know. Like she had the kid. She goes.
And she's been working.
Right.
And she put up this hotel.
Yeah.
No, she inherited the hotel from Stellan Skarsgård's aunt.
Yes.
Because
Sophie.
So right.
I don't. Okay.
I
yes.
Don't know. Anyway. So Rich Man's World happens. Christine Baranski loves booze. They all get a little bit drunk on champagne. They left a messy take in the movie.
That's right. They did.
Where Christine Baranski flubbed her lines.
Yes.
And they just left it in the movie because they're like, oh, they're all drunk on champagne.
Right.
And
it was kind of obvious.
It's a usable take, clearly, because they left it in the movie.
I felt like it was obvious.
It was pretty obvious. But
it was like
they just kept going. It was
if
great.
Your name was Harold, and I was like, "Listen, Ben, that's not Ben? Your name.
No,
Harold.
I'm Harold.
Did you know?
You know my name is Harold, right? You know." But
that's what it
they
was.
Just
weird.
kept going. Yeah. So it's weird to see that because.
But then there was also
that's not a take that you should use. I don't know.
It was also too just that manic euphoric energy the whole time.
Everybody was really happy.
They're like dancing around, and at one point there's a crack in the foundation.
And we'll find out why at the end.
We find out why at the end, but they're like, oh, what? I'm like, that's an earthquake, you dumb bitches.
Get out. Go back to the mainland.
You need to have someone come look at that immediately. That's a structural issue. And I also, so then now at this point, all the dads have arrived.
The dads have arrived on the island. They
don't really know why they're there.
Correct. And by circumstance, 2 of them missed the boat out to the island. But
right.
Stellan Skarsgård owns one, so he brings the other 2 onto his boat. They all go out to this island together.
Yes.
They're sort of getting to know each other. They're like, oh, you know Donna? I know Donna too. And I received this random invite.
How could they have not put this together?
There's a lot of idiots in this movie.
There's a lot of dumb men specifically.
And everybody learns what's happening in the last 10 minutes. It's much ado about nothing.
Which it's like
very
these men in the movie, they're all going to be bunking together in this goat house.
In the goat house.
And
Colin Firth is blowing up his air mattress. That really tickled me
I
when
don't
he's
remember
like
that.
using the hose to like
Oh,
blow up
right.
the air
Which then at
mattress.
that point, that was Mamma Mia, that
Yes,
number, which
because
Meryl Streep is
sees
singing
them.
and she sees them. And then at first she's like, oh, those fuckers. How fucking dare. They're cute though. Oh, God. I can't believe they're here. And then she falls through the roof.
Well,
No.
Yes, at the very end of the song, the button of the song is her falling through the roof onto the air mattress that Colin Firth was blowing.
So why didn't no one fix the roof?
No
one addressed.
And now his air mattress is all deflated, so he's got to
start all over again.
And there were fun costumes in this number. There were really cool camera angles too. Like they went like above her, and she's like rolling around like a rat.
Loved the usage of the villagers.
They are trespassing all over the place.
They're the
coming up
best
on the roof.
part of this
They're
movie,
jumping through windows.
in my humble opinion.
No one's getting any fucking
because it
work
would
done.
be like, Meryl Streep would be singing, and then these guys would just pop in and then sing and then pop out every time.
Some shit like
every time they did that, we laughed. That was great.
I put the air mattress, ha ha ha, trespassing Greeks, fun camera work. Bless Colin Firth for playing the bumbling Brits. Then the next song, because Meryl Streep is so distraught about these three men being here, she runs into the bathroom and locks herself into the stall.
Right.
Then we have Chicken Taquitos.
Chiquita.
Chicken Taquitos.
Chiquita.
Which is a song about friendship.
It's Chiquita.
Yes.
Is the song. And
that's it.
That's it. They basically, her two friends are like, hey, what's wrong?
And
what's wrong?
This is when like the supporting cast just shines. I mean, you have Meryl Streep in the center,
and that's the
you're
thing
flanked
too.
by two amazing character actresses
who
just
give harmonies
everything.
In these songs. These are incredible songs.
Yes, it's awesome.
Like even though this plot it's a little thin.
A little thin.
It's tissue paper
it
thin
would
at
slip
times.
through a crack in the floor.
But the music is so
good.
Really it's so good.
And you can't help but get caught up.
No, exactly. And so they're like, oh, what's wrong? Here's the thing that I had issue with, and this is what I'm wondering, and maybe people who have seen the stage version can tell me if there's more sentences between songs.
Oh my God.
Because for this
they go right into
Chiquita finishes.
Yes.
And then she goes, all three of these guys are here. I don't know what to do. And then Meryl Streep throws herself on the bed and gets upset, and then they go right into Dancing Queen. It was probably like...
Do they? Because I thought she kicked them out first. She fell through the roof.
She told them to leave.
Out, Chicken Taquitos happened. and then they go into Dancing Queen. You're right. Yeah, because she throws herself on the bed. She's like, oh, what have I done with my life? These three men have followed me here. But you're right, Christine Baranski.
And then they all go dancing down to the dock.
Correct. Everybody in Greece
a random
goes down
guy
to the dock.
Playing piano on a boat. It's
tight choreography, but apparently all I could think of is The Godfather. Like you have the gangster families who are out on the dock dancing, and Michael Corleone just in his chair, just being like, "You sons of bitches." But Pacino style, like, you sons of bitches! Why not show you a dancing queen? And then, so all three dads are taking the hint, and they're leaving on a boat. Like, they're gone. They're like, oh, Donna doesn't want us here. We should go.
Right, and then Sophie says, no, wait, please don't go.
She takes off her clothes, and everybody apparently
just wears swimsuits.
And we're Oregonians, and we also live in New York, so we get a summer, but we don't walk around in bathing suits. So maybe when you're on like an island in Greece, maybe you're just ready to swim at all times.
Is that a thing? Like like people that live in like Hawaii, or
comment
do you just
below.
always
I don't
have?
know.
I don't know.
We are pasty white Oregonians.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what that life is. But anyway, she swims out to the boat. And she's like, no. What? You guys have to stay. She really wants you to stay, or some shit like that.
Oh.
And then Colin Firth busts out a guitar and starts singing about our last summer.
Yeah. There was one line, though, that was so intense, and it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
When Meryl Streep is like, my mom was right. I'm a stupid, reckless slut. I'm like...
But she, catches herself.
Whoa!
And they do the same thing. Mrs. Weasley and Christine Baranski are like, whoa, you sound just like your mom.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
And we totally skipped over in Dancing Queen when Christine Baranski put the penis... thing.
Oh.
What was that? Was that
some
Dancing
phallic
Queen?
jokes in here. Yeah, that was the Dancing Queen.
That was so random. I was like, what's happening?
I bet some of that stuff happens in the show
I don't know.
because we have the same director. So
Has anyone seen the
it's
show?
a little bit jarring. Comment below.
Comment
Remember to
on the
subscribe
live stream.
and tell your friends.
Subscribe on YouTube
Yes.
or subscribe on your podcast platform. Anyways.
Anyways.
Okay, so everyone's jumping in the water. What is happening is what I wrote.
So
Is this how spontaneous people live their life? Do I always have swimming suits on? And then I got really excited about Colin Firth actually playing the guitar.
he knows how to play
actually plays
guitar.
the
Like he's a guitar nerd.
and is very good
It's
at
a song
it.
about #My3Dads. There's pictures and stuff. All three dads have like a commentary.
How
of
are
their
they
time
totally
with Donna.
fine just hanging out with each other? They're all strangers. I didn't understand
Or
that.
they share like their history with Donna in common.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I wanted a little bit more there, I guess. Like if they made it awkward and then made a couple jokes and it got better.
And then
I
I
would've
couldn't
been fine
figure
with
out
that.
why Sophie wasn't telling her fiance about her three dads.
Yeah.
I didn't know why that was a conflict for them because she
She
was
says,
afraid of
so
scaring
she's
him
no.
off. I don't
She
know.
said later on, and this happens later in the movie, when she finally tells him what she's done, he's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" She's like, "Because I knew you would try to talk me out of it."
Oh.
And I'm like,
Because why?
"Well, then you probably shouldn't have done it."
We're,
And
yeah.
then she says, "You probably would have talked me out of it." And he says, "Because you aren't missing anything or lacking anything without having your father in your life. You are a complete person. I'm complete
and
because
that
of you.
doesn't take knowing your dad.
Why do we need to make this whole big wedding thing for
Okay.
you to find your dad? I wanted to go elope on a boat."
And then he starts singing "Lay Your Love on Me."
So that was no. So all of that stuff that we just said happens later in the movie. This one is just she comes
yes.
off of the boat and then
And he's like, "Hey, what are you
he's
doing?"
like, "I'm going out for stag night because on stag night we scuba. We snorkel on
And
stag
if we
night.
can't scuba, what have we been doing?
We're gonna dance.
What is this all about? So
Right. If we can't scuba, what is this all about? What have I been
he's
doing?
like,
this
"Oh, where
for?"
have you been?" And she's like, "Oh, I just lost track of time, and I went
And
swimming."
then they do the flipper dance.
Yes.
Which was
so "Lay Your Love
so
on Me."
great.
The guys' ensemble in this number is really fucking
It
funny.
is.
It's
That was
really
one
great.
thing too I really missed is that I knew that there was a lot of great choreography, but we only saw like 3 to 5 seconds of it, and then it switched to a
Super
different
short.
frame.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I saw maybe a third of the actual choreography.
There was
in
a lot
this
of like
musical.
Michael Bay style of cuts where it's like every 2 seconds you're
Yeah.
cutting to something new.
It was like Baz Luhrmann light. Like it
Yeah.
was enough, not manic or crazy enough, other than the people being euphoric about laughing
Right.
at everything.
Always happy.
It was just I missed stuff, and I was like, I feel like there's more that we could see. I don't know.
And that song, especially with My Summer Memories or Our Last Summer or whatever the fuck that was.
Yes.
I feel like the guys kind of got the short end of the stick when it comes to the songs
They
in this
did.
movie.
There was only a couple of songs, and again, that's another one where I don't know how that might be split up on
I
stage.
don't know either. But there were like 26 songs in this movie.
Yeah.
And I would have cut like 8 of them.
And
Like,
then, okay, so then we go to this, respectively, the stag party and the hen party.
Correct.
Which, for people that don't know, in European countries, stag party is a bachelor party, hen party is a bachelorette party.
Yes.
That's what that is.
That's
And
it.
apparently they're way more intense than they are
They
here.
look really intense because a lot happens
Right.
in the next 15 minutes of this movie. So Donna and her friends put on like a special show
Yep.
for her
They
daughter's
sing
bachelorette
Super
party.
Trooper.
They sing Super Trooper.
Which was so great.
And I really liked the opening because I think they're actually using real
Yes.
vocals from the take, which was really nice. I also feel like that song is some sort of weird Cold War, I saw you at a bar in Glasgow, Super Trooper, kind of weird Russian shit. I don't know.
I don't
the
think
song
so.
rubbed me the wrong way with some of the
I
lyrics.
love that
I was like,
song.
this reminds me of like Mikhail Gorbachev.
Oh, wait, you're saying that this person is singing about an actual soldier that she saw?
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
It
thought
sounds
it
like
was.
she was in love with like a Russian soldier who worked
I don't think that's right.
in
Now I want
the
to
Russian
find out
GRU
what
or the
Super
KGB
Trooper
or some
means.
shit. Like
Hang-
it was a little off-putting.
Super Trooper ABBA.
It's gonna give you the poster to Super Troopers.
Meaning of Super Trooper by ABBA, the noted Swedish group. It begins talking about how they won't feel blue despite the beams from the Super Trooper blinding her as she performs. That's not right. Why? Because in the audience, there's someone very special. It's abundant. She doesn't enjoy. I was sick and tired of everything. Oh, I was sick and tired of everything. When I called you last night from Glasgow, all I do is eat and sleep and sing, wishing every last show was the last
So she's
show.
the showgirl.
So she's constantly performing audiences that it's depressing. When she
Right.
sees that one special person, if she knew that they would be in the show, she becomes really happy and looks forward to doing the show.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of actually a weird song to sing to your daughter before.
It's just to be like,
the
hey, here's a
wedding?
preview of what we used to be.
I don't know. I mean, but it's a great song. I wouldn't have known that. Like, I
You
love
have
that
to also
song.
write your narrative to get these songs into the plot because not
Right.
that ABBA's catalog is limited. It's just that they
No.
have some very oddly titled songs.
Right.
And so, like, how do I work Super Trooper into this movie?
So then while that's happening, the three dads like come up and they're like, what's happening up here?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like hen party. And then Pierce Brosnan is like, okay, well, I'm out. And then the girls grab Colin Firth and Skarsgård
and this is Gimme, Gimme, Gimme. And they start stripping them.
and tying them to
and
like
tying them
chairs
down.
and shit.
Part of me is like, this is either this is their best day or their worst night.
Yes.
Like,
Or a little bit of
my
both.
notes. I'm like, what the fuck is happening to Stellan and Colin? These women. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck, Grease? Like, I think this is part of their tradition. Maybe
Anything goes on a hen night.
I don't know. It was like I thought they were going to get tarred and feathered. Like I feared for their lives.
It's called a hen night. You go and you find someone.
Yeah,
That sounds
okay.
horrible.
Which is great.
That sounds horrible.
I'm all for women and
no, we don't. We're not going to go out.
What I'm saying is that I'm not intimidated by a woman's sexual power and her. Okay. And her like using that because like these men, at least in the movie, were clearly like, okay, you know.
I thought
it was very violent.
It was random and out of place.
Quick. I'm like, whoa! I just wasn't ready.
It would have been something again if there had been a line that was like, well, I guess the strippers have arrived. That would have been fine. It would have been like,
or if
oh,
there was like a side
fun.
bet of like, oh, we should capture those two guys.
But it was just like they got done singing, and then they're like, hey, get out of here. Just kidding, we're going to grab you and strip you.
Like, it was very sudden.
And then in that number, Sophie reveals to all three of them, or they all three kind of figure out that they might be her dad.
And this goes right into Voulez-Vous.
Right.
This literally goes from Super Trooper into Gimme Gimme into Voulez-Vous. Like, it is happening
light speed. It's
minutes.
So fast.
Minutes. We have 3 songs.
And then, like, she gets really upset and frustrated and
she
mad.
starts, like, touching
and I'm
her
like,
face a lot.
What? Well, COVID hasn't happened yet. She can touch her face. It's fine to touch her face.
It's hard to do.
And I'm like, what did you think was going to happen when you invited 3 guys? Like, did you think? And apparently,
conflict.
And she's like, I thought I would just know. I thought I would see them and I would just know. And I'm like, bitch, no.
But everyone has like a single quality that is like, oh, you could be my dad. Oh,
okay.
Maybe you could be my dad.
But out of all of them, since we actually
it's
spoilers.
Clearly Pierce Brosnan.
No.
Oh,
I
missed that?
I didn't think it was Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, I thought it was.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I'm just always rooting for Pierce Brosnan.
Well, I think that's fair. But ultimately, I was like, if you had to pick from 3 of them, because we don't actually, spoilers, find out who the dad is.
We don't.
But I think actually Skarsgård was the dad.
You think so?
Just because he looks
because he has blonde hair.
He's blonde. That's it. Literally it.
That's literally it.
No. He has blonde hair, and then the woman that owns the hotel.
Yeah, was his
Sophie,
aunt.
Was his aunt, and her name is Sophie. So that made sense to me that she would
Donna
name
named her daughter Sophie.
That's the thing for me. But she's in love with Pierce Brosnan still.
Gotcha.
And he was the first man that she was with, and then he went back to marry his fiance. And then she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll sleep with 2 other guys because I'm a reckless slut.
Sophie is like trying to get her bearings with her 3 dads during this big musical number during Voulez-Vous. My notes on here are Meryl's boobs are out. First big ensemble number? Question mark?
No.
Going back to Meryl Streep's boobs, it's a little bit like
going back to
mom's
Meryl
or
Streep's boobs.
Cleavage. You know, you're just like, okay. It's fine, but so many things in this movie happen when you least expect them, and there's so much happening, especially during this part of the movie, that when Meryl's boobs are out, it's distracting. Like, I'm trying to like get my bearings here, and my 60-year-old mother is jumping around the courtyard with all these random Greeks, singing Voulez-Vous,
Right.
it feels like the Green Fairy number from Moulin Rouge. Like
Okay.
everyone's going nuts.
Yes.
First big ensemble number of the movie, question mark? But that
Right.
was actually Dancing Queen. And then Amanda
And then
Seyfried faints.
The next day.
And what the fuck did she think was going to happen?
Right. And then the next day, so everybody wakes up and everybody's hungover.
Julie Walters gets on a canoe.
Julie Walters gets on a canoe to go out to the boat.
She falls in the water. It's funny.
And the boat has Skarsgård and Colin Firth.
Correct.
And
they're having a conversation.
They're having a conversation, and they're both like, I had a realization last night. And Bill Skarsgård assumes that Colin
Stellan,
Firth is...
not Bill.
Sorry.
Bill's Pennywise.
Bill's Pennywise.
His son in real life.
If Bill Skarsgård was in
The
this,
Skarsgårds are an acting dynasty.
very different kind of movie.
Swedish acting.
So Skarsgård, I'm just going to say Skarsgård to save myself. And Colin Firth are on the boat, and they're both like, I had this realization last night. And they don't actually say what it is.
Right.
Because Much Ado About Nothing.
Very much so.
This
is all.
But then Skarsgård
mixed
is kind of
messages.
like, oh, you're gay to Colin Firth, which that was out of left field.
It was, yeah. But this was 2008, and I'm not quite sure if we were as far along as a society as we are now. Are we right on the cusp?
Maybe.
Socially about.
It just
open
seemed
and
really
supportive of the
weird.
LGBT
It
community.
seemed weird to me.
Yeah. Okay.
So then,
weird.
anyways,
He shows his butt, which was funny.
Mrs. Weasley shows up and says, "Hey, wait, I'm sorry. We show his butt, and he's got this. Skarsgård has two tattoos on his knees,
Right.
Egyptian eyes on his knees. He also has two tattoos, a tattoo on each ass cheek, and I didn't see what they were.
I think they're eyes.
He has eyes on his knees and on his
I'm
ass.
pretty sure they're all eyes.
Well, I mean, he wants a 360 view of the world, so that was crazy.
And Megan did not care for Stellan's ass. Like you had like a physical,
I did.
vocal reaction.
I
to it.
literally, he turned around because he was just wearing a chef apron,
And that's it.
and he turned around, and I went, "Oh my god!"
That's almost how I reacted to Meryl's cleavage.
Like, okay,
It's like seeing your dad's butt. you
Yeah,
know? It's
it
like,
was just
whoa!
like I didn't
Like you look amazing, Meryl.
Yeah,
Like, whoa! I wasn't ready.
put
I wasn't
on
ready.
pants.
And then there's this weird scene between Donna and Sophie, mother and daughter,
Right.
where it looks like they change aspect ratios.
Yeah. The screen
Like
literally
mid-filming.
changed.
It went like some weird kind of 4:5:1. I don't know aspect ratios off the top of my head, but it looks like they were shooting on a completely different format.
And then their characters got really intense and
Yeah.
really mad
And
at
Sophie
each
got
other.
really pissed at her mom.
Like it was literally like manic depressive.
And she's like, I don't want to go through life not knowing who my dad is because that just
depressive.
who your husband or my dad is because that just
I don't
sucks.
want my kids to have the same
Right.
thing that I had where I didn't know who my dad
That's
was.
bullshit.
Because it's bullshit.
Yeah. And then Pierce Brosnan shows up because Meryl's like cleaning and she like snags a set of bagpipes from this guy who's randomly in the courtyard with a set of bagpipes. And Pierce Brosnan's like, oh, I see you kept my bagpipes. And I'm like, why did you have bagpipes? Number one. Number two, why did you keep them? Because we see like a glimpse of Pierce Brosnan back in the day, and he did not look like a guy who played bagpipes. He looked like some weird
Maybe that's
hippie.
to tie in with Glasgow?
No.
I don't
because
know.
Glasgow's, I don't know.
I'm not
It's
sure.
weird.
It was weird.
It's weird.
But it was like, that was the way to tie that together.
Yeah.
And then they sing.
They sing SOS.
SOS.
Pierce Brosnan
Pierce
yells his way
Brosnan's
through SOS.
Scream yelling.
My notes on this, it's like Russell Crowe, but worse. And I
Oh.
am a staunch defender of Russell Crowe because
Someone you hear me, darling.
it's yell singing. It's not even yelling. It's like bellowing. It's very unique.
It sounds like if someone just stubbed his toe really badly and then was told, you need to sing right now.
It's what is it like? It's like he knows that he's not the strongest singer.
Right.
I don't have
So then he compensates by being louder.
Correct. But what is the phrase sotto voce? Is that the phrase I'm looking for?
I don't
Is it
know.
where it's like quiet intensity. Alan Lytle, who says half the volume, twice the intensity.
Oh, Alan Lytle. Sure.
Alan Lytle. Yeah. So he just went the opposite direction.
Right.
He's like, 4 times the volume, 8 times the intensity, and he looks really mad. You know, like it feels like he's yelling at you.
He's yelling,
And
singing
again, like
at
I was a staunch
Meryl
defender of
Streep.
Russell Crowe and Les Mis.
Oh no!
And I give them both credit for actually singing. And I think even during the playback, everybody's singing.
Yeah, and it was specifically like when he went, "When you're good."
Like it's very.
It's like,
intense.
okay, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
So.
So
Oh, that's
SOS
right.
happens.
And then we go to the beach where
Christine Baranski is
Christine
surrounded by men.
Baranski is nursing her hangover.
One of the best numbers in the movie, in my opinion.
It's so dumb.
It is dumb, but it's like
so
she's
dumb.
so good in it, though. She's doing a lot.
I know, but
She's having a blast.
the boy child with the random hair,
Yeah.
which I don't know what was happening there.
And the numbers about, hey, like, I'm way too old and way too experienced for you, honey. Like, oh, by the way, does your mom even know you're out because you're way too young?
I didn't
and I can
care
run
for
circles
that
around
number.
you. I will take you around the world in the bedroom. Like,
Here's the thing.
That's me.
Again, I feel like I got distracted by the boy child.
Oh, okay.
And then like also too, like she went down, it looked like she was going down on him, which then the entire beach is like, oh yeah!
Because it's all guys for the most part, but she
Yeah.
also has like some of her girlfriends there.
Right. They're like, oh, and I'm like,
Who are
are we
like,
literally
fuck you.
cheering on
Right.
a blowjob happening in the middle of a public
But
beach?
she doesn't do it because, like, I
She's
could do
wrapping
it.
a diaper around him.
It's after 8 o'clock and you need to get home because your mama.
She literally wraps a diaper around him. I don't know where she got the fabric
But
from.
the guys are like lifting her in the air and like tossing her
Yes.
around. It like for me, I was like, also Christine Baranski is a goddess,
She is.
genuine stage treasure,
Oh.
old school talent. Like she's
Like,
doing
bless.
her thing. She's doing her thing
Yes.
in this movie, and you're
She's
just like,
in
fuck yeah,
her
like
element.
she owns it.
She's got it.
All the guys
She's
want.
got it.
All the guys want to get laid, so it's not really deep character development for them.
And then this is when we reveal to the fiance,
Mhm.
this is what these guys are doing here. This is who I think they are.
Right.
And then he's like, well, I don't know if we should get married anymore then.
We should get married.
And she's like, you don't love me anymore? Of course I don't love you. It's no, not of course I don't love you. Of course not, I don't love you. Just been waiting for the time to say it. And this seems perfect because you're already devastated.
Isn't it like I love you? I'm just
I
disappointed.
love you. I just don't know. I don't remember. But it
It's
was
more
like,
am I not enough? Like
I think so,
Is
like-
what we have not enough.
and
Like,
then
okay.
it was confusing because he's like, I just wanted to elope effectively.
Yeah,
You
I
wanted
didn't
this
want a
big
wedding.
wedding.
because she wanted her dad's there.
So then, like, is the wedding for her dad's?
And then we go to Slip Through My Fingers because Sophie like runs to her mom and she's like, "Can you help me get ready for the wedding?"
Right.
And that's
There was this moment too in that number right beforehand where she's like, I need your help. Can you help me get ready?
I don't have money for chicken nuggets.
And where Meryl Streep is like, but the way that she looks at her is so intense.
That's the Meryl Streep like look.
But
That's the
it's
Meryl
like-
Streep like.
But it was like, to me, it wasn't like a sweet mom like being like choked up at her daughter getting married.
Oh, okay.
It was like, how dare you? You have made a fool out of me, and now you're asking me to help you? Like that's it.
It's like Betty Davis.
It was really intense. It was really intense. It was unsettling.
Yeah.
And then they're like doing her hair, and Meryl Streep's painting her daughter's toenails while her
This
daughter
is
sits
all-
on her lap. Do people sit on each other's laps more than I think? Like, do
And, like,
families
do
just
each other's nails and
do
like,
that? And I don't.
share pictures.
I feel
and-
like a lot of people sit on each other's
this
laps,
song
and
to
I
me
just don't do
is
that.
like Arvide's song in Guys and Dolls, where Arvide is singing to his daughter about like I forget the fucking song
It's
because I
a
would cut it.
gorgeous song.
It's pretty,
It's a
but it
gorgeous
doesn't need to be
song.
in the show.
I don't
would be
know.
like, Nix, like let's get out of here.
I'm not sure. So,
Um,
anyways, they're off to the wedding,
And no, what? They're off to the wedding because Sophie gets put on a donkey.
right?
Hashtag that ass. And then we get a
Oh,
shot
man.
of Cliff Chapel.
Cliff
Like,
Chapel.
It's a chapel on top of a cliff.
And, yeah,
That is
a
like an
separate
offshoot of the island.
Yeah.
Like it's connected to the island.
yes.
And then we go right into Winner Takes All because Pierce
Right.
Brosnan is like running after Meryl Streep on the show. He's like,
Yes.
wait, I need to tell you something.
Right. So she sings
And she
her
sings, I gotta
lungs out,
go.
and she runs up these stairs.
She's trekking up the stairs to
like,
the
this
chapel.
is stuff that even CrossFitters would look at that and
I would have,
go,
like,
hell
whoa.
no, that's not happening.
Like,
and
leg
she
day.
just bolts up because she's Meryl Streep and then still belts out the last number.
And I made a note during the song about this movie in general. I feel like it was both proud and ashamed that it was a musical at the same time.
Interesting.
Because like you said, the ensemble numbers never really got the scope that they deserved as far as like the dancing, everything was like kind of close. And like, can we actually like pan out and really see what's going on here?
Right.
Can we see the ensemble dancing? Can we see some like great fun choreography?
Yeah.
So it felt to me like, are you trying to hide the fact that you're a musical? Because you're jumping right into songs.
So this is one of those things where it can be really hard, I think, and I think that this is true for the opposite way. If you're taking a musical and putting it onto a film
it's going to be
format,
different,
it's going to be different.
Yep.
But I also think too that there needs to be story in the cinematography, which is why it's really important to have a director of photography who knows both. Who understands musicals and understands film.
Yeah.
I don't know who the director of photography was for this,
Yeah.
but it just it felt like it wasn't seamless. It didn't feel natural. It felt jarring.
And I referenced a movie. I referenced Hairspray.
Yeah.
Because the movie version of Hairspray, while it's of course different from the stage version, not a whole lot.
No.
I'd say it's like 85% the same.
Yeah.
There are some different songs. But the movie itself, the movie of Hairspray is so proud of it being a musical that you actually get to see everybody doing like really crisp, tight dancing, tight harmonies that are of course like recorded.
Right.
But at the same time, you get the sense that this is the world we live in.
It knows it's
and
a musical.
Everyone sings. It knows it's a musical. Come along with us.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. I never really got that same sense about this movie.
It just felt like it was trying to be cinematic, but it was also
but it was also like next song.
Like, it was like
next track.
It's like how we talked about for Wally World.
Vacation.
First of all, Vacation. Yeah. How it's like they didn't know what audience they were catering to, if they were catering to kids or they were catering to adults.
Right.
For this, it's like we don't know. Are we going to be just like movie?
Are we catering to
with
the
like
theater
a bunch
crowd,
of singing,
or are we catering to Meryl Streep's audience? You know, the Iron Lady. Like, what are we? Right.
What are we doing?
And I never got a sense like they chose one lane.
Which this is why I really want to see the musical on stage, because I feel like it would be so much better on stage.
Yeah, that's just my assumption as well.
Yes.
So right into Winner Takes All. She's running up the stairs. Meryl's using a lot of her hands.
Pierce Brosnan has a Stella moment.
He's on a cliff. He's outside the rope partition. And he is on a cliff, like screaming at Meryl Streep.
You were so worried for him.
I was worried for Pierce Brosnan. I put in all caps, why is Pierce on a cliff? Get him off the cliff. And also she would have like incline-induced asthma because she just ran 100 steep stairs.
To be fair, the last line she's kind of whisper saying it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And so she gets up to the chapel. Everyone's seated for the wedding.
Yep.
And this is when we get all of the information.
This is when it's
everybody figures out.
Instead of having too much exposition at the beginning of the show, it's just
came at
vomit at the end.
And then Meryl Streep realizes, like, you sent the letters to her daughter, and all of a sudden the three dads are like, everyone has something to say.
Right.
And it was like Pierce Brosnan gets up first, I think.
Yeah, and then Skarsgård and Colin Firth both stand up.
Firth comes out,
okay,
which is a big moment.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh, we're not there
So they
yet?
all stand up,
Everything
and
happens in
then
this
she's like, your dad is here. So they all stand up, and then she goes, but I don't know who it is. And then they all sit back down because they feel embarrassed. And then she's like, you know what? I don't care who my dad is. I don't care. I don't even want to get married.
What?
She's like, I'm just glad that you guys are here.
Yeah.
So then she's like, let's just run away together. So then they don't get married. But then Pierce Brosnan is like, why waste
a wedding or some shit like that?
Will you marry me to Meryl Streep?
Right.
And she's like, yeah.
Okay.
Even though she just said, like, no, you can fuck off.
Yeah, essentially. And this is I do.
Right.
And the notes, and
then
I say, Pierce is a yeller. He yells. he yings, wow, they're really making out in this scene. And they
right.
use a lot of tongue.
Yeah, they did.
And
I
have a note about that in the trivia.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Pierce Brosnan and Meryl Streep in their what must be their late 50s.
Uncomfortable.
I'm like, good for you.
Like,
at the same
that's
time,
like seeing your aunt and uncle going at it at a holiday party because they had too much
I wasn't
eggnog.
prepared. I
No,
wasn't ready for this.
there was so much I was not prepared for.
And then
for this
we
movie.
get a ballad from Pierce Brosnan, which is When All Is Said and Done.
Right.
And
then we go to
I'm
the
listening to him singing,
reception.
and I'm legitimately thinking, like, why Pierce Brosnan in this role? Like, why
Right.
is he cast?
It's so weird. It's
and
weird
why give
casting.
this guy the
Who doesn't
majority?
sing?
Why cast him as this character where this guy actually has the majority of the singing out of all of the men?
Right. And he
Because-
does not sing.
And it's not that he can't carry a tune; it's that he is so close to not being able to carry a tune. You're just like, you almost want the bucket to dump.
He's
you're
like
just
that guy when you're at karaoke and you hear that one guy that is singing "Don't Stop Believing," and he's just
he's
good enough
just-
to not be bad, but he's not
He's
good
not
enough.
Steve Perry. You know,
It's rough,
right? It's rough,
but it's like
it's not
everybody.
that he can't sing though.
You
I
still
don't
love
quite know
him.
how to describe it because it's Pierce Brosnan, and you're like, I fucking love you, dude, but
Oh,
I would not have cast you in this role. You are so castable in so many other things.
it's like if Hugh Jackman was just a lot older.
And then we go from When All Is Said and Done right into
Take a Chance on Me?
Take a Chance on.
Right. And that was kind of thrown in.
Yes.
That was kind of random.
At the end of the movie, and I think Take a Chance on Me happens in like scene 4 of the stage show. Like,
Yeah. No, I don't know. I
like
have no idea.
like pretty early on in the show.
No.
No? Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Anyways, that's
I think
random.
they wanted to save one of their good songs for the end.
Right.
You know, to kind of pick everybody
Which
back
now,
up.
Take a Chance on Me, I can't not think of it without thinking of Andy from The Office. Like,
When he's
I
proposing-
can't
when he's
not.
asking
When he's
Angela
asking Angela out, it's just now, it's forever seared into my memory.
If you change your
Mind,
mind on the
I'm
first
first
in
in
line,
line.
honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got no place to go, if you're feeling down,
Are you gonna keep going?
if you're all alone, and the pretty birds have flown, honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. Gonna do my very best, and that ain't no lie. If you put me to the test, if you let me try, take a chance on me. That's all I ask of you, Angela. Take a chance. Take a chance on me.
Oh, we got
that was like Pierce
pitchy.
Brosnan.
We got
That was
pitchy.
real pitchy.
Ooh.
And then we're in Take a Chance on Me. I wrote, God bless Julie Walters. I don't mind that she's on the table.
I don't mind that she's on the table.
And at the end of the song, we find out why the crack appeared in the courtyard.
Aphrodite!
All this water comes up from the courtyard because there's like some
apparently
legend about
Aphrodite's love
Fountain of
pool,
Love or Love Potion
fucking
number 9.
something I don't.
And it goes into 24 frames per second. And
Everybody's
it's like,
dancing around and it's like- Yeah, Ben immediately thought of, and I
Drunk
didn't.
Trump.
Drunk Donald Trump.
If you haven't seen Jimmy
High
Kimmel,
balcony.
if you haven't seen Jimmy Kimmel's videos of drunk Donald Trump, where he slows Donald Trump down to 24.
Ohio,
There's a mosquito in here.
Ohio. See that plane? You see that plane? Oh my God! And then too, it's like
I
everybody's
laughed
making out.
Out loud.
Everybody's covered
everyone's
in
taking
water,
off their shirts.
Taking off. I'm like, is this
I'm like,
turning
what
into
the
a
fuck,
family
Greece?
orgy? Like what?
Makes me not
And
want to vacation in
then-
Greece.
I want to go to Greece, but
Yeah.
not
Not to this hotel.
Not to this hotel.
Not to Donna's
Because
hotel.
it's falling apart and there's random laughing
If Pierce
at
Brosnan might come
everything.
over and yell
I
at you.
actually thought I mentioned like all the people that work for her, they all have to sign a waiver being like, at any point in time, you need to understand that you might have to break into songs. So what are your skills? What alto? What are you?
Yeah. And also, can you look like you're doing work but not actually doing work?
Right. And
You
know and listen closely enough to the conversation happening next to you so that you can peek your head
just in case you have to
to make a
jumping
sing
around.
commentary.
Now everyone is wet and kissing. I'm very uncomfortable. And we end with sort of like you said, like a jukebox musical karaoke of
Yeah.
Dancing Queen, which is a lot of fun because they're wearing fun costumes, but it's clearly shot in a sound studio.
But then there was this weird thing too where they get done with the song and then Meryl Streep is like, "Do you want more?
I thought she was
Do you
drunk.
want
I thought she had a few to
Oh,
them, like, whoa,
Yay,
Meryl,
let's
all right.
do it!"
And then they start singing Waterloo, and the three guys come in 70s ABBA costumes.
Which that was amazing.
Which was great.
They all had belts that had their names on
and
it.
Sophie and her husband, fiance, whatever,
I have
start
no
coming
idea.
in. So the whole cast is like singing Waterloo together.
Yes.
I didn't hate it.
No,
I didn't hate that part.
I
I'm
thought
like,
it was a
hey,
weird number
like,
to end on.
well, it's a weird number to end on. It's a song that a lot of people know. Number one. Number two, that was one of the moments where I'm like, oh, so you're okay with being a musical. Like,
right.
you have this number, even though it's like either a fantasy in somebody's
Because
head.
we see everybody dancing. We
Right.
see the whole thing.
And everyone gets like their own special moment, and everyone's together. Like all the leads are doing their thing, and I'm like, this is great. I don't know where the fuck this was for the rest of the movie, and why was Pierce Brosnan yelling at me the whole time. I want to know what I did wrong so I can make it right.
And that's the end of
the movie, and then it ends, so that's Mamma Mia.
The main thing that I took away from this movie is A, I want to see the musical.
Yes,
that's the number one thing. But also B, I was so befuddled. Befuddled is the word I would use to describe myself after seeing this movie. So let's jump into trivia music.
Okay.
We're gonna sing the trivia music because we're doing this live again. So bum ba da dum bum bum ba da dum bum bum ba da dum bum bum. I don't think anybody's donated any money, so I'm going to remind people if you want to donate.
If you want to donate some money, we're raising money for Broadway Cares. You can donate to Farmer646, which is my Venmo, and we'll make sure it goes to the right people. A lot of actors and performers.
We didn't mention it throughout for people that joined.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Fine.
So that's fine. I mean, I know we got.
We're going to make a small
watching,
donation.
So we'll make a donation
anything
regardless.
Else?
But again, a lot of actors have been put out because of COVID-19. Not to say this doesn't affect everyone, but this is for Broadway, for SAG-AFTRA, for both stage and screen. But Broadway Care specifically is going to be for stage actors who have been put out of work because of the virus. So whatever you can donate to Farmer at Farmer646
on Venmo.
On Venmo, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So,
hey,
Stafford!
I was like, I knew we'd get one. Thanks, Stafford. The cast members performed all their own singing, which again I think is a plus.
Oh.
Pierce Brosnan had no idea what he was signing on for. There were two sells to this movie. Number one, it was going to be shot on location in Greece. Number two is working with Meryl Streep. He had no idea what Mamma Mia was.
He didn't know it was a musical?
He had the biggest crush on Meryl Streep when he was in drama school.
Oh, my God.
So he's like, oh, on location in Greece and I get to work with Meryl Streep? Sign me the fuck up. Maybe that's why they were making out so hard. His tongue was
actually like really feeling it.
I
don't
really in love with Meryl Streep.
Please no.
So he's like, oh my God, that gorgeous blonde I was in love with when I was in drama school. Sign me up. The slipping through my fingers scene includes a short clip of Meryl Streep and Amanda Seyfried laughing.
Yes. When she's painting her toenails.
According to the director, the crew blasted heavy metal music to get them into a surprised and laughing mood, I guess. So
tell a joke.
Yeah.
Or put a fart machine somewhere.
Yeah, she's a Yale grad. Like she can pull something out.
I don't know. That's what
Meryl Streep went to Stockholm, Sweden to record all of her vocal tracks.
Okay.
When she sang "Winner Takes All," she finished it in one take.
Bitch! Look at you!
Her "I Gotta Go" number, the song that she sings on the side of the cliff. The guy Benny Anderson, who's a former ABBA member and co-composer of that song, called Streep a miracle for doing it in one take. Yeah. Meryl Streep saw the musical in October of 2001. For those of you who were not born yet, that was a month after the September 11th attacks. So Meryl Streep went with her daughter, Louisa, and they took her friends as well. And Streep wrote the producers personally saying, thank you for bringing a little happiness and fun to the lives of New Yorkers after the terrorist incident. So not only is Meryl Streep a fucking talent. She's
She's a
legitimately good
powerhouse and a good person.
Stellan Skarsgård for why he flashed his ass.
Oh yeah.
We decided I should be cooking on the boat. I thought I should have an apron on. The director did not know I would be naked under it and have those butt tattoos. So when the camera rolled, I turned around right in front of the camera. The cameraman jumped and screamed, and the director almost fell off the boat because she was laughing so hard.
Oh
That's
my
something
God.
I would do.
That is something you would do and have done.
And have done
you
to you.
have done. Well, you didn't do that to me.
Well, I took off my shirt.
You took off your shirt when we were in a production of Oliver before we walked out on stage, and then you slapped my ass because I was supposed to be a prostitute that was like leaving your room.
Were
or
you a
whatever.
hooker?
Yeah.
Really?
That's
I didn't
what
think
it
you were a
was.
prostitute. I thought
Also,
you were
too,
just my
in
lady friend.
Oliver, in case people didn't know, when we were doing Oliver, Ben decided that he wanted to have some fun, so
Oh
he
my
bought
God.
a bunch of googly eyes, little googly eyes, and he came early one day and glued them all over the set
And all over
and
people's
all over
props.
people's props.
I do not advocate doing that at
So
all.
at one point, our friend Kylie Kirk Johnson is singing
Who
Who Will Buy My Sweet Red Roses? And she looks down and the roses are looking back up at her.
We had fun.
Yeah.
We had fun.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
That was 2009.
Yep.
And we were like 3 months into dating.
Yes.
And she didn't leave me over that. So
No.
that's good.
That's good.
So what
Anything
else? Do I have? Let's see. In December 2008, the movie became in December of 2008. I really have to hit this point. The movie became the highest grossing movie of all time in the UK, smashing the previous record set by Titanic.
What?
Avatar came along the next year and beat the record. But for 11 years,
Wow.
from 11 years, from 97 to 2008, Titanic was the highest grossing movie in the UK. This movie beat it.
It's because it's ABBA.
It's because it's ABBA. Colin Firth is in it.
Oh,
Brosnan's
right,
in
Pierce
it.
Brosnan's in it,
Like
like,
British, Eastern European royalty.
Yes.
Or Western European royalty. excuse me.
Yes. Okay. All right.
So I hope that answered some questions. Would you recommend this movie? Who would you recommend it to?
I would recommend this movie. Actually, I would recommend this movie, but I would recommend it probably to high schoolers that want to have a fun musical theater night,
Okay.
or menopausal women.
You can't recommend it to 30-year-olds, can you?
Why not?
Because I feel like high schoolers and then menopausal women.
It's just like those two are the ones that I'm
Look
like,
at
those
the meat.
demographics would definitely like it because
Sure.
it's fun and it's silly
Yeah.
and da-da-da-da. And then like the postmenopausal are like, oh yeah, I can identify, but like,
because that was the music of when I was
right.
young.
And like, I love ABBA.
Me too.
And I actually grew up on ABBA, but I want to see the show. I want to see the live show. It's just, I have a
Yeah.
feeling that this was not a good representation of this story.
The power of ABBA.
I
Stafford's
feel
right.
like it's.
It is.
What about you?
This movie is all about, and like I said, like you said, I'm curious to see the show. This movie is all about taking ABBA's songs and then writing plot around
Yes.
the song. It was the same thing they did with Carrie Fisher's
No.
footage in Rise of Skywalker.
It's not the
It all
same.
comes back to Star Wars,
no,
guys.
it's not the same.
It's the same thing
It's
they
not
did
the
because
same.
they had
No.
footage and they're like,
No.
okay, how do we
That's
bookend
not. That's
this
just
footage
no. It's not
to
Carrie
make this
Fisher.
work?
That's just a jukebox
Carrie Fisher would
musical.
have been amazing.
That's how Jersey Boys works. That's how Bronx Tale works. That's how any and every musical.
Minimal story in this movie. If
Yes.
you're looking for a credible, threadable plot, it does not exist. It is My
It's
Three Dads.
there,
It's there,
but it's
the music is so much more emphasized.
If you love ABBA,
If you love ABBA, you're
watch this
probably
movie.
gonna love the movie. I love ABBA, and I liked most of the songs. I'd cut like 8 songs from this movie
I
because the
think
movie was
that's
almost
the
2
thing
hours
is
long.
that
I'm
there,
like,
if
this
there
is
had been more book, I would have loved it.
maybe.
If there were more scenes and more talking in between the songs, which coming from somebody who is like grown up on musical theater, that's saying something that I wanted more talking and less singing. I just feel like there were too many songs.
Correct. And the fact that you go into 3 songs within 6 to 7 minutes
Yeah.
is very
It's a
jarring.
lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to like process. Like I felt like I felt like I was on my heels for the whole movie.
That's a great
I never got a
way
chance to breathe
describe
because
it.
everyone was so manic
That's
and
a
so happy,
great way to
and everything was
describe it.
moving so
Yes.
fast. I never felt like it got a chance to really breathe. Even during Meryl Streep's "I Gotta Go" song, I'm screaming as to why Pierce Brosnan is out on a cliff about
Right.
to like slip and fall and kill himself. Yeah, I don't know who I'd recommend this movie to. I don't even know if I'd recommend it to high schoolers because oh, it's a lot of older people singing songs.
No, but I'm
that I
thinking
don't
about the
know.
younger people that are in the cast.
Oh, okay. I don't know who the hell I'd recommend this movie to.
I mean, here's the thing: I wouldn't discourage someone from
No,
watching
I'd
it.
be
That's
like,
the
watch
thing
it
too.
once.
It's fun.
It's fun.
But it's like
I almost want to see Here I Go Again, which came out 11 years after the fact.
Oh my God, that's
Cher's
right.
in it. Andy Garcia's in it. Part of me is like, oh fuck, I gotta.
Well, now we have to.
We have to crack this thing open
Right.
now.
So that's Mamma Mia.
That's Mamma Mia, guys.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much for all of you who tuned in.
And we will be posting the podcast tomorrow morning.
Mhm.
This should be live on our YouTube channel.
And
in
we
a
will
little bit.
we'll confirm our donation to Broadway Cares on our Instagram.
Mhm.
So thank you to those who did donate.
And then I don't think we know what we're gonna do next.
Not really, no. We're heading into our work week starting tomorrow. So yeah, so we'll come up with something, I'm sure.
Or
And,
if you guys have suggestions, please, by all means.
I'm
we
sure a lot of
love
people are watching
suggestions.
abstract movies at this time.
Oh, yeah.
So if you think of one that you think we might enjoy,
Mhm.
one that would be fun to talk about, we would
Mhm.
love to take your suggestions. So let us know.
Yay!
Message us on Instagram.
All right, friends. Well, thank you
you
so much.
Thank you so much.
Please like, subscribe, and share about us on all the social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram at SIMAC Podcast. If you have questions, you can always reach out to us on our website, which is simac.com. And I think that's everything.
Yeah. Hope everyone is well and healthy and good. Stay safe out there. Be smart. Take care of each other because that's what we really need right now.
Stay home.
Yeah.
Please
if you can.
stay home if you
stay
can,
home.
so that we can get back to our normal lives.
This is real. So, and it will be over soon.
It will be over.
It will end.
That's so great. No matter what, you guys, this is temporary.
Yes.
Just keep that in mind.
Not this though.
Hold on for one more. Why have they not done a Wilson Phillips?
There's not enough there.
There's plenty there.
There's a few.
We would be
songs.
swinging too far in the opposite direction.
Okay, we're about to get into a serious argument here, so maybe we should go.
Yes, we should go. Okay.
Blessings, love, and light to you guys. Be well, and we will see you next time.
Bye. I can't find the cursor. Yes, I want to end the stream.